Welcome to another Tin Dog podcast. This time talking about Flux, well, part 4. As you can hear, my voice is a lot better than last week, hence the reason that I'm on video. However, I just need to say that this is arguably my favourite, episode of the Jodie Whittaker era, including the Villa of Diodati. Yeah. That's probably not what everyone else is saying. They were probably just saying that this is all up there with it. But no, I actually prefer this. Now, yes, when it started, I did get a certain Hyde vibe. You know, it's like, oh, we're in the middle of nowhere. There's a psychic research facility going on. Some woman strapped up and she's being asked questions. But it's very different. Yes, it's got echoes, but that's because it's a homage to 1960s and 1970s TV specials and Hammer horrors. That's kind of something that we all like and we like to come back to, so that's really not a problem. As always, I have notes. One notebook with Esther Lanchester. Marvellous. Right. So, obviously the main thrust of this is me getting my head around the fact that the whole Claire storyline is different from what I originally thought it was. Really? Me guessing at something and being slightly wrong? Who would have thought it? Yes, I did think that Claire was going to be the person who was going to have some sort of emotional connection with Yaz and eventually move with her. That's because the first time you saw her, Claire was remembering the Doctor and Yaz and the TARDIS. Except, of course, she wasn't. What she was remembering was some of the dreams she'd had concerning the angels, the village, and everyone vanishing and all that business. Yes, the angels do have a strange relationship with time, which is being exploited here. In fact, Village of the Angels, because that's what we're talking about, is a cracking story, but it also milks, everything to do with the angels. But there's a lot of little things worthy of mentioning as well. For example, did you even notice that there was a split screen? We haven't had a split screen in Doctor Who, apart from in, I think, the David Tennant animated special. Well, does that even count? It counts for me. You know it does. You know I like that sort of thing. But for some people, it just won't because it was animated. Animated, I know. So what else have we got? Well, of course, we've got Kevin McNally, who was last seen in Doctor Who. Well, Big Finish, he was last heard last year. But seen in Doctor Who, we're talking the Twin Dilemma. Now, Twin Dilemma is arguably seen as one of the worst Doctor Who stories of all time. Not a great introduction to the Colin Baker era. It does have some redeeming features, and I know that there are some people out there who simply adore it. Both of them will be very pleased that Kevin's here because he's a great actor. Let's face it, he's one of, he's the sort of person you go, was he not in the Harry Potter films? Why was he not? And that's kind of it. And also he was in Pirates of the Caribbean. Apparently he got very drunk at his 50th birthday or his 60th? And then turned up for the audition. And because he turned up looking worse for wear and drunk, everyone just went, yeah, he's the pirate for us. Which is a cracking story and something I'd quite like to ask him about at a convention. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, sorry. Keeping going with Kevin. The business with Bergen-Belsen, the business with all of that, the history stuff, the sort of thing I like, was very important. The angels tinkering with his self-esteem kind of makes the angels a creature for our current times. That's a worry, but it is true. Yeah, angel law. You've got your basic don't blink because they're quantum locked, which means they can be defeated by wearing mirror shades and having the mirrors on the inside. Now, does that mean that they can be observed? If they're being observed by a machine, can they stop moving? Because you can look at the results. So if you go back and look at the results of the machine, does that mean they're being observed? Or does it have to be physically with some eyes? They've become so complicated as creatures. What point does looking become observing, become recording? And any image that is recorded becomes the angel, which was brilliant with the whole lie detector ECG machine thing. drawing a picture of an angel. That was lovely. That was just really nice. The business with the fireplace, also gorgeous, because let's face it, what we had here, not just classic Doctor Who, but definitively classic Doctor Who. We've got a base under siege. Oh, I didn't even think I'd get to use those words again. Base under siege. Just let it roll around. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Back to the notes? I think so. We've also got the seventh seal. Yeah. Have you seen Bill and Ted, where Death plays chess? The seventh seal is a lot of hanging around on a beach, dealing with your existential crises. And here we've got Black and White hanging around on a beach, dealing with existential crises. It's marvellous. And of course, the angel gets to use a person as a ventriloquist act, just like the Dalek. But that's really nice. It's such a gorgeous thing. That's actually become, a screen grab from that has become my wallpaper that I'll be using at work and really upsetting a lot of people. But that's all right. We like that sort of thing, don't we? We really do like the seventh seal, though. That's great. Now, you've got your narrative split into, I would say, 3. Did anyone else go, oh, there's a scarecrow on the hill, and have flashbacks to Anthony Ainley hanging around dressing as a scarecrow for no reason? And then, of course, it wasn't a scarecrow, it was an angel. But that was quite a nice moment. There was also, on the callback front, of course, a reverse the polarity, which makes me just feel better. No, it does. It really does make me feel better. I'm sorry that I keep referring to my notes. I'm just not as clever as I could be. So we've got the split screen, we've got the seventh seal, we've got Dan and Yaz dumped by angels in 1901. And then, of course, you've got the same character as the old lady and the girl. Does anyone want to say the word Blinovich limitation at this point? Anyone? Anyone? Blinovich limitation? No. No, shorting out time differentiation? No, it's fine. Okay, so we're back to the Angels' Law. In Angels Take Manhattan, they send people back through time and then eat their possibilities, which of course destroys the fixed nature of the universe, which is nice because that means that free will is a thing, which is surprising when it comes to a time travel show. No fixed points of time. Now, the Angels being used by, the division, the Joy Division as such, and they are not a particularly great force, but they're a crack team of just turning up and taking people out. Quantum Exclusion, which is a Bond film nobody wants to see. And of course, the village is cut off. Are they actually rescuing everyone? No. What happened to the people from 1901? Where did they go? I'm guessing they went 60 years back, so they're 1831. So they might need rescuing, but you can't rescue people. That's the point. Once you've been touched by an angel, you don't get to travel in the TARDIS. See Rory and Amy, because you can't take those home. That was the point of them leaving. So now that Yaz and Dan have been touched by angels, if you stick to Doctor Who points, and let's face it, when it comes to angels, they've been doing it left, right, and centre in this particular story. They're stuck in the past. Now, I know in Next Time trailer, we had Dan going, we've been stuck here for years. But strictly speaking, they should be stuck there forever. Unless, of course, this is an exception to the angel rule because they were sent back in time as part of a trapped little village thing. I do like the whole village cut off thing. That's nice with it falling into cliff. That looked gorgeous. Yes, I've been hanging around The Prisoner quite a lot of late, rewatching episodes in preparation for the Prisoner podcast. So that was nice. It's not confusing. Things like the TV. I know they used computer graphic to try and make the front of the screen curved like a CRT screen, but it just didn't feel heavy enough the way it was being carried around. And old TVs, trust me, were very, very heavy. Now, it was 1961, which means, no, there's no way he could have started recording episodes of Doctor Who for us and then travel through time and then present them to us. However, because then he deposited in 1901, which means if you're aware of the horrors of the First and Second World War and you're deposited at the beginning of the century, you'll probably go mad, or at least try and save everyone, or save as many people as you can. That's another story. He has to be returned back to his own time. You see, I'm thinking about this too much. Really? A Doctor Who fan thinking too much? Who would have thought of it? Of course, with all of these storylines, you've got one more thing. You've got the parallel storyline with Belle. Belle's a cracking character, and of course she's a space ranger, or whatever you want to call them. And she's there trying to save the day. Yes, she's on her knight's errand quest for love, but she's also basically lawful good as a character, and when she sees people in trouble, she'll come off her quest to do a side quest. Am I thinking too much like a game player? Perhaps I am. And her side quest now is to take out the passenger form, which is kind of the main plot, really. But her own personal quest is for love. So this side mission, that becomes the main mission, which is of course the main plot of the program. That is great because you've got the form, what is it called, the passenger form, the one that definitely isn't Joe, the one who swallows people up. So what do they need all the people inside for? Because it made sense last time, because they had people as hostages. But if they've got millions upon millions of people inside the passenger forms, what are they doing with them? Now, if they're a prison, the passenger form, then it's kind of a virtual pocket universe. Oh, yeah, the flux. We're going to take you to a galaxy where the flux isn't a problem. So it's only affecting our galaxy, not the entire universe? That doesn't sound right. Because the flux is infinitely powerful and spreading. That's fine. I know the universe is infinitely big, which means it would take forever to get to this. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that these people are apparently being sold a rescue package, and of course that's not what they're getting. So, you look at this world and you go, that's great. That's a nice storyline. He's saved her, gone. And then at the end of this episode, you've got that brilliant, absolutely superb cliffhanger where the Doctor is an angel. It ranks with the greatest of all of the hangovers from modern Doctor Who, with the Pandorica, well, that's the one that came to mind, all right. It's like, how are you going to get out of this? Which was great. I loved that. I'm sure I've forgotten lots of things because this was a fairly packed program. We got Yaz behaving like a police officer, doing a really good search for a child. We got Dan not as out of his depth as he could be. And it just worked. And for me, the moment that made me go, yeah, was the moment that was invented just to wind up people who don't pay attention. People who make it to Doctor Who and don't want to watch the next time trailer. Because at the end of this episode, the music started and admittedly sounded slightly odd, and I don't know what was going on there. I'm not good at spotting why things are different. I just noticed that they are. And then it started playing, and then it fizzled out and became something else. Now, if you turn off and you don't watch the next time trailer because you don't want spoilers, you missed this. As soon as that music starts, you hit the remote and you didn't get to see the cutaway sequence where I've decided to follow and save these people. Please find me. Here's the address. Oh no, I've forgotten. The answer phone message was great. So that's interesting. Is it to make people watch the end credits? Or was it just a throwaway, standalone, brand new thing that they were trying out? We'll get back to you on that one. So there are my thoughts on this week's episode. A cracking, superb episode. So until next time, be seeing you.